Why does it seem that certain fragrances get really popular and talked about all the time, over and over again? They get reviewed all the time when there's so many other great ones out there by these amazing houses that just kind of fly under the radar and I think need to be appreciated more. Coming up next, I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite fragrances that for some reason don't get the love I think they deserve. So find out what they are. Welcome back, everybody, to JoelTheNose. As you can see, again, coming here from Osme Perfumery in Miami. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate your support. And of course, if you haven't signed up for ScentXplore 2021, coming up December 4th, click the link in my comments below because you can still get the early bird discount right now for another couple weeks. All right, today's topic, I think, is one that I don't see talked about a lot because frankly, everyone seems to talk about the same 10 or so perfumes, whether it be designer, niche, over and over and over again, whether it be in the top 10 lists or people's favorites for this category, that category. And there's just so many great fragrances that I think don't get the love they deserve. So today's video is going to be about that. I'm going to give you my top 5. So without any further ado, let's get right into this. I'm going to say coming in at number 5 from the great French niche house, Parfums De Marly. This is Akaster, or Akaster, depending on how you want to pronounce it. This is a fragrance that almost I see never get talked about, but this is really an oud lover's dream, but it's not your typical oud. This is very Middle Eastern. This has huge influence coming from the Middle East when they composed this fragrance. In fact, it gives a sense of something called a bakour. If you've ever heard of that, a bakour is something that's used in the Middle East for ceremonies. It's something that kind of sits on the ground and it's almost like, you know, it gives out incense and smell and permeates the house or the room during ceremonies. This is like an oud bakour. It's so rich and deep and dark, but so wearable. This is not, I don't understand for the people who love oud why this is not more popular. I can say that when I see it get bought here in Osme, when I'm kind of in here hanging out, it's generally people from the Middle East. They come in, they smell it, they get it right away, and this thing sells very well to them. Us Americans and those from the West, anywhere in the West, I think need to learn about that a little bit more. All right, coming in, number 4, this is probably recognizable to a lot of you, Journey Man from Amouage. Journey, you know, look, Amouage, obviously very popular house from the Middle East, as I just talked about. This one, though, again, I don't see a lot of people reaching for it all the time, you know, rather than the more typical ones that they go for, whether it be Beach Hut Man or, you know, just even things like, I see Bracken Man go out even sometimes quicker. But I think what happens here is that this is a really strong tobacco incense, specifically frankincense, fragrance that maybe is a little bit intimidating to some people. Even if you love tobacco, some people come in and I see them, they smell it and they get a little bit intimidated. Beautiful bottle, right? It's like kind of a red and gold silver bottle. But it is one that if you really do love tobacco and incense and those classic, almost biblical smells, this is one that you need to check out by Amouage if you love this house. Like all Amouage, it's a real beast mode. It's going to project. It's going to last a long time. This is a pretty linear fragrance. So you're not going to get a necessarily super complex dry down as it goes from the top notes to the heart notes to the base notes. You are going to get a pretty linear, what it starts with is going to be pretty similar to what it ends with, but it's beast mode. So check it out. All right, number 3 from the French house Montale. And let me put it in there so you can see it. Oh, can you see? Sorry, it's hard to see with the shining of the sun. All right, this is Red Oud. The reason why I picked this one again, I mean, Montale is one of the most prolific of the niche fragrance houses. They release fragrances, really multiple ones every few months. Some houses come out with one every few years. These guys give you plenty of variety to choose from. So there should be something that you like from Montale that's out there. What makes this one I think, a little bit under the radar and why people don't seem to necessarily know about it or go for it right away is this is one of the very first gourmand oud fragrances. So you've got two classifications that a lot of people are afraid of, right? You have oud, which again, for a lot of us here in the West, people kind of shy away. They're a little bit nervous about getting to oud, especially when they're newer into fragrances. And then you have gourmand, which again, of the classifications, seems to be one that a lot of people kind of shy away from, especially dudes, you know, because it can be sweeter, almost food-like quality. But if you like gourmand and you like oud, and Montale, as always, is such a quality niche house, you gotta try Red Oud. I'm telling you, you will like it if you like those type of fragrances. All right, this is another real shocker, probably the biggest shocker on the list for me. This is, of course, well, not necessarily of course, Zefiro from Xerjoff, the Italian niche house. You know, this is one of those fragrances that for Xerjoff is actually a very light, kind of, you know, more easy to wear fragrance than some of the other ones, which can be very dark, very oud, very intense. This one actually is very, I don't know, very easy to wear. And it's still got that intense, beautiful composition known that, you know, Xerjoff is so well known for. But it's unique in its composition. Again, it's got this kind of opening that goes bergamot and more citrus, but then it goes into this honey and oud dry down. And again, very wearable, especially during these summer months right now where it's still very warm and hot in a lot of parts of the world. So Zefiro, I gotta say, of the list, I'm the most shocked of the 5 that I'm naming today that this one is not more popular, more talked about, and more loved in the fragrance community. So if you love Xerjoff and you like great wearable fragrances that are good year-round, gotta try Zefiro. And last but not least, this is my #1 fragrance because I really like this house. This is Etat Libre d'Orange, the French niche house, and this is like this. The reason why I picked this one as my #1 is because this is really unique. It's a ginger fragrance, and I happen to love ginger fragrances. They do really well on my skin. I love the combination that it brings of sweetness and spiciness, and it just works well to me on all occasions. But the reason why I picked it is when they were creating this perfume, what they did is they took the ginger and they actually removed certain molecules out of it, because when you use actually natural fragrance materials, okay, not synthetic, it's made up of hundreds of molecules. Whereas, say, a synthetic molecule or synthetic ginger is only one molecule, a natural ginger can have hundreds. And that's the difference, one of the big differences between natural and synthetic materials. So you can actually remove certain parts of those, you know, that fragrance, that extract. So you can remove parts of the ginger molecules that maybe you don't like, or not necessarily that you don't like, but if you want to emphasize other ones and therefore take out ones. And that's what they did here with like this. So it's a really cool way to apply science and chemistry. And Etat is always on the leading edge of that. They've used, before almost anybody else, and for artificial intelligence to create a fragrance. So I like how they kind of push fragrance making and perfumery to the next level. That's why I picked like this #1. If you like ginger fragrances, man, you got to try like this. All right, there you have it. My top 5 fragrances that don't get love from amazing niche houses that should be getting the love. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know what ones you think could also be on this list in your own opinion. I love hearing your thoughts. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace and love.